Also, because I suppose if you're blackmailing a prince or someone like that, then that would mean that the people around the prince know about the problems as well.
And then that becomes a bigger problem for the royal family, for example.
Well, let's just get into the royal family, because this is some of the juiciest stuff that people are going the most insane about online. Now, the breaking news last night, the main victim, Virginia Roberts, who's been the most on camera about this, and she's very brave coming out of all this stuff. She just went on NBC's Dateline last night. This was breaking news in the media in this country. She's talking about her sexual acts with Prince Andrew. And here's what she said. "We went out to Club Tramp. Prince Andrew got me alcohol. It was in the VIP section. I'm pretty sure it was vodka. He was like, 'Let's dance.' I was like, 'Okay.' We leave Club Tramp and I hop in the car with Ghislaine," that's Ghislaine Maxwell. That was Jeffrey Epstein's madam. That's the one whose house I visited and filmed in London.
When you say madam, does that mean she was helping with the handling of these people?
She was procuring girls, she was orchestrating the pyramid scheme, and she was participating in orgies, raping underage girls with strap-ons, and engaging in threesomes with Epstein and his elite associates. Yeah. So I hop in the car with Ghislaine and Jeffrey. Ghislaine says, "He's coming back to the house and I want you to do for him what you do for Epstein," referring to Prince Andrew. She then said they went back to Ghislaine's townhouse where she and Prince Andrew had sex in the bathroom and then in the bedroom. He wasn't rude or anything about it. He said thank you and some kind of soft sentiments like that and left.
Do we know how old this woman was at the time?
When Andrew allegedly had sex with America, she was underage under American law. Right. She got indoctrinated in this world when she was about 14 or 15. And she had Andrew over a period of time.
So she'd been involved with Epstein as well, and she was basically found by this madam and brought in to basically please these horrible bastards.
Please these horrible bastards. Here's what she said on Dateline. "Prince Andrew started licking my toes, between my toes, the arches of my feet. I couldn't believe it that even royalty were involved." And I've got more about what she said about Prince Andrew here. This was her original statement on one of the lawsuits. "So Epstein made me have sex with Andrew several times. We are shown in the photograph below." So the famous photograph.
His arm around her.
He's got his arm around her. And there was speculation as to where that photograph was taken.
Oh.
So when we went to the house.
So for those who don't know, you've seen that photograph and you thought it would be in the house of, was it Epstein's house?
We hoped it was going to be in Ghislaine Maxwell's house in London. So we went.
So you turned up at the door, didn't you?
And we knocked and rang and nobody answered. And as across the street, we're still filming, the door's opening, the cameraman's like, "The door's opening, get over there, get over there." So I run over and I start talking to the maid and I can see the banister, but my cameraman's like this on me. I'm like, get the banister, get behind me. It was right there, the white banister. So we confirmed that Andrew was in that house for that incident.
So everything that she's saying as being, I mean, it's not provable, but it's added a lot of weight to it, the fact that you've went and confirmed that they were there together and it happened.
And what's added even more weight is statements from the other victims, which I can get to as well about Andrew. So here's what she said originally. "I had sex with Andrew 3 times, including one orgy. I knew he was a royal, but I called him Andy. One day I was in London, this is the townhouse, I got news from Maxwell that I would be meeting a prince. Epstein told me it was a major prince and I needed to exceed everything I had been taught. I was to give Andrew whatever he wanted to make sure he got it. Andrew arrived with security guards. They went out of the house and stayed out front in their car. It was just Epstein, Maxwell and me. Inside, alone with Andy, I was introduced to him and we kissed formally cheek to cheek. There was a lot of discussion about Andy with his ex-wife and his ex-wife Fergie. Then Maxwell said, guess how old she is, and Prince Andrew guessed 17. Then they went to Club Tramp. Then there was the foot licking.
He's really into the foot licking, this guy, isn't he?
I don't know about you, but I'm like, at this point, he's really just even more disgusted, but not because of the foot licking.
No, the foot licking's fine. It's obviously the reality of what we're
reality
facing
of
here.
the
if you do foot licking with an adult who's fully into it, good luck to you. But this is disgusting. Generally, the fact that these people are getting brought in by this madam,
girls, yeah.
and it's Ike's been saying this for fucking decades, and he nailed it. Like, you know what I mean? On this, whether you agree with David Icke on a lot of his other theories, whatever. He fucking nailed it on this, though. There's no one can take that away from him.
It's the level of exploitation which kind of is quite is awful. Like where, you know, I don't know, I'm sort of imagining nights where I'm going to adult friends' houses as a kid and thinking how safe I felt, how nice it was to be able to go for dinner with someone, to be able to go out and have a good time. And these people are literally exploiting kids.
And like you said, though, the weird thing is the carelessness of them, the confidence of them that's coming through.
So brash.
You're paying her a few £100, like. You know, at the level of risk that these people were facing, they felt untouchable, clearly, where it's like, a few £100. No, like if you're going to keep this hush, like, they're not taking the precautions at all. They're just being so whatever about it.
It's called elite deviants. And they're so powerful, they know they're untouchable, so they'll do anything. When these guys start to get caught in things, and there are lawsuits, I don't know if you've watched, is it Untouchable, the Harvey Weinstein documentary that's out?
I haven't seen that, no.
Well, there's parallels with Epstein and Weinstein.
It's all the Steens.
When the victims first get lawyers, and then the lawyers contact these guys, they just send them hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, as settlements and have them sign non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah, which is what Michael Jackson did with his first victim as well.
Now, you'd think after that had happened a few times, you'd be like, okay, I need to stop doing this. You know, this is a crime. These women are getting upset. I'm paying out all this money. But no, they look at it like, I can just pay these people off and keep doing it. And it just gets worse and worse. So it's a sickness. It really is. So to continue with Virginia Roberts' statement, so the day after the foot licking, she told Epstein that it went great. And Epstein said, "You did well. The prince had fun. I felt like I was being graded. It was horrible to have to recount all these events and have to try to meet all these needs and wants. I told Epstein about Andy's sexual interests in feet. Epstein thought it was very funny. He appeared to be collecting private information about Andy." This is part of the blackmail scheme now.
Well, he wants to know every single thing he asked for, doesn't he? Because then at a later date, he's going to use it.
"When I got back from the trip, Epstein paid me more than he had paid me to be with anyone else, approximately $15,000. That money was for what I had done and to keep my mouth shut about working with the prince. The second time I had sex with Prince Andrew was in Epstein's New York mansion in spring 2001. I was 17. Epstein called me down to his office. When I got there, Epstein was there, along with Maxwell, Johanna Soberg, that's another victim, and Andy. I was very surprised to see him again. Epstein and Maxwell were making lewd jokes about Randy Andy. I had the impression that Andy had come there to see Epstein and to have sex with me. There was no other apparent purpose for Andy to be there. I was told to go upstairs with Andy and to go to the room I thought of as the dungeon, the massage room, but it was really scary looking. I had sex with Andy there. I was only paid $400 from Epstein for servicing Andy that time. The third time I had sex with Andy was in an orgy on Epstein's private island in the US Virgin Islands. I was around 18. Epstein, Andy, approximately 8 other young girls, and I had sex together. So even though she was 18 and it's not an offence, she is witnessing other minor children in this orgy with Prince Andrew. The other girls all seemed and appeared to be under the age of 18 and didn't really speak English. The major co-conspirators, as well as Madame Maxwell, is a guy called Jean-Luc Brunel, who run the modelling agency out of France, and he was procuring East European girls, Russian girls, people from poor families. He sent Epstein triplets, 12-year-old triplets, as a birthday gift, who performed oral sex on Epstein, and Epstein was bragging about it for weeks.
I'm a bit speechless at that.
Yeah. My other sort of question is, do we know... So, was she basically sent home by these people? So it would be come, perform the act, and then go home? Or was it she would be living in the mansion with him and sort of... Or do you not know that?
She was a runaway at first, but in other statements she talks about her dad being with her and then her going in somewhere. So I think that her relationship with her family was tenuous because a lot of the people that they targeted didn't
Lonely,
have that
isolated.
strong family
they're lonely
protective
people.
structure.
Make no mistake.
Yeah.
If you end up being controlled in this sort of way, like we looked at the R. Kelly documentary, it's very rarely from people who come from loving, caring families who will allow this to go on, who will let you just not call home for months on end.
I'm not
Isn't
being
it?
funny.
It's people who are easy targets.
I'm not being funny, but I feel like R. Kelly at this point is beginning to feel like a distraction from everything else. Do you know what I'm not saying he didn't do terrible things, but they're almost like, look at what he did. He's terrible. We're the good guys for exposing these people.
Well, R. Kelly, the difference between these guys and R. Kelly is R. Kelly didn't have the infrastructure to keep going. He didn't have the money we're talking about. A different level, aren't we here? We're not talking about an entertainer who got rich. We're talking about wealthy.
If you want to know the level, just read some of the names I've circled.
I'll have a couple of these.
Let's just cover this very, very quickly.
So you got sent this, didn't you?
So the reason that a lot of people started coming on my channel for Epstein stuff was a week before Epstein died, I put a video up. And a lot of people have said that he was going to die. I'm not claiming that's brilliant or anything, but I did actually describe that he would get killed in prison and it would be made to look like a suicide and Bill Clinton would probably be behind it. That's what I put up specifically.
I mean, as predictions go, that's pretty close to the nose, isn't it?
I mean, it's either that or we need the lottery numbers from you, Sean.
Really wish I'd put a bet on that.
People started to come to my channel, became like the go-to channel for Epstein news. And someone out the blue just kindly sent me the unredacted black book before it had widely circulated online.
Okay.
So as you can see, there it is. It's got all these names. I've circled some of the more interesting ones for you.
Okay, so there's this long list of names.
Can I just go through a couple of these names?
Because what I want to do is put context on the names before we read them.
Okay.
So, because it's important to put context on what the book is. So what is his little black book?
Okay, so this is the book of contacts that was taken by the police and is in the court system as legal discovery for these cases.
So what does the little black book mean? Does the little black book mean you are part of it?
The little black book does not mean you are an international child sex trafficking paedophile.
Yeah.
But it increases the likelihood that you are connected with people who are doing that. And by looking at how many...
This is a very bad guy.
Yeah.
If he's got you in his book, like, all right, there's a chance you're not involved, but it isn't a good look, is it?
No.
You know what I mean?
And if you look at how many phone numbers... If you look at the names and see, like, they've got one or two numbers, you know they're probably at
Okay.
distant.
So just to put it into
numbers.
context, you're saying the more phone numbers, the likelihood... Why do you need to know every phone number he's got?
Yeah.
So this is a bit strange. So, for example, Liz Hurley, big celebrity, he's only got one phone number for her. Donald Trump, however, he's got about 15 phone numbers.
15 phone numbers?
For Donald Trump.
Trump has got
for some
one phone.
reason, he really needed to know how to get in contact with Donald Trump.
So why
I'm not saying that Donald Trump is one of these people, but it's not a good look, is it?
Can I also ask them why so many phone numbers? Are these why have so many phone? Would Epstein go down the list until he gets an answer, or what? What's the deal for having 15 phone numbers?
All I can speculate is that the closer he was to someone, the more numbers he would need to keep in contact with that person.
So can I go through a few of these, please? Because I like to feel like I'm in the know.
I'm not saying I'd love to. I mean, if you really want to be in the know, head over to Sean's channel where Sean.
We're doing a
Thank
podcast
you.
right now. Thank you.
Yeah,
Lord.
but I'm just. Helping
Should we call some of them?
So we've got,
Have you?
for example,
Yeah.
David Rockefeller. He's got a good 5 numbers for him.
That's 3
Mick
times.
Jagger, only 1 or 2. So maybe nothing was
I
going on
did
with
call Mick Jagger and it is disconnected, that one.
Right, shame.
Although Mick Jagger maybe just had 1 number. I don't know. Wow. Okay, it's getting... Kissinger, Henry Kissinger, who was described in the last podcast we did with David Icke for being a real piece of shit.
Yes.
Few of
Kissinger's
his
everywhere.
phone numbers.
Any conspiracy, you find him.
He is he's in every conspiracy, this guy.
Yeah. He napalmed a lot of kids in Cambodia.
The Kennedy
and
family are all over here as well.
Really? The Kennedy family have been a sort of cursed family. They've had so much bad luck in their history, haven't they?
Yes.
Courtney
Yeah.
Love got about 4 numbers for her.
Well, Courtney Love just came out last week and said Prince Andrew showed up at her house wanting sex.
It's as if Courtney Love sort of likes mixing with these sorts of weird people.
Well, Courtney, I mean, did you hear about... I mean, we're going off topic here, but did you hear about the conspiracy that she was behind the murder? Or
I've watched the documentaries
death
on it.
of
Fascinating.
Kurt Cobain.
Because it was the investigator she hired that made that documentary because he grew so suspicious.
I genuinely, after watching that, was like, yeah, Kurt Cobain was probably murdered.
Yeah. Sadly, because he was actually a really beautiful artist.
Yeah.
Who stood to gain the most from it? All those rights.
Yeah. So yeah, there's
That's real
a
love.
lot of basically wealthy people in here, powerful people in here. It's amazing how many.
Was there anyone in there? I mean, Brian's looking through it at the moment. Was there anyone in there that particularly surprised you? Or was anyone? What big names are we looking for in there?
Got like Tony Blair.
Yeah.
Few politicians from this
But I mean,
country.
names that surprised you, Sean, not.
Yeah, thought he'd be in there.
Yeah.
The evil looking.
I'm quite honest. When you went Tony Blair, I went, yeah.
People like Naomi Campbell.
Right. Okay.
There's a few who I'm a bit disappointed in. Chris Tucker.
Was there a lot of numbers?
Chris Tucker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers for Chris Tucker.
See, I've got to be honest.
I
really
loved
enjoyed
Rush
his
Hour.
stand-up.
Did you like Rush Hour?
Yeah.
I love Rush Hour.
I hope Jackie Chan's
I'll
not
never
in there
watch
as well.
Rush Hour again.
I'll be honest as well. I really enjoyed Chris Tucker's stand-up.
So
It was
far,
great.
no Jackie Chan.
Thank God. Yeah, and you're down to.
This is madness.
Yeah. Are there any? There's no Jay-Z or Beyonce sort of.
No.
Good. Just checking. Just checking.
Definitely not Kanye.
Yeah. Kanye West's not in there.
Kanye's into thick women.
Yeah.
I respect
Kanye's into Kanye. If anything, yeah.
massage in just so many fucking numbers.
Who's massage?
And with it, I love some of the little. What I'm realizing, and he's putting
them.
things for himself to remember later.
Like
so,
massage,
like
yeah.
massage in Paris. He's got, I'd say, about 20 numbers here. So it's like Debbie, Mary, and then in brackets next to one of them, he's put Stefan in brackets. Better than Gypsy. So like just so he knows like which one was
grading them again.
That probably means like hand job. I
Check
would
this
imagine.
one out.
Right.
David Copperfield, the magician.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, he can make things disappear.
This is mad, isn't it?
Wow.
All right, so we get the point. There's a fuck ton of very famous people in there. Like you're talking Trumps, you're talking the biggest of the biggest people, Rockefeller family.
Did
Tony
it say anything
Blair.
about golden shower next to Trump?
It didn't.
Just checking. You know what?
But thanks for bringing these. And you did ring some of them. Did you get any answers or any funny?
I just got some like voicemails. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you leave any messages? Hey,
Yeah, I
this is
left
Sean.
messages to
Don't
say,
forget to subscribe.
giving you a heads up. You're on the Epstein's Black Book. Would love to interview you.
Likelihood is
Get a
most of these
comment
people would
on
have
why
known-
you're in it.
These people would have known mostly if they were in the book, probably.
Well, when I went to Ghislaine Maxwell's London property, one of the names in the Black Book was the pub opposite the street.
Oh, really?
The Nag's Head.
Uh-huh.
So it had the names of the owners, him and his wife, and the phone numbers. So I went into the pub, bought some drinks, and said, by the way, do you know you're in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book?
And they got their gun out and you left.
Well, he did get quite irate.
What did he say? What did he say?
He said, you're only buying fucking water. Why you're only buying water? You're coming in my pub. And
I'm just not a big drinker, mate.
I said, yeah, don't drink.
This is the
don't
kind of
drink.
thing. These are the kind of days
Because,
when.
that's why you look so fucking old, because you don't drink. Oh, yeah, he was a nasty piece of
I'm
work.
not really
the
sure
guy.
he understands the concept of
Yeah.
alcohol. It's usually the opposite in my experience.
I need to let you know, mate. This man is. He's a recovering alcoholic and drug abuser. Just
Should
to
have
let you
said,
know.
that's what you think. I'm 92.
Yeah. The funny thing is, you know what I actually think would be hilarious if you took Brian some of these things, just because I don't think you get the same trouble.
Well, I would actually be interested in doing a bit of like, do you know when Louis Theroux just rocks up somewhere
Yeah.
and he's just like, doesn't give a fuck, puts himself on the line.
It's like Keith Chegwin back in the day.
So I want to say I don't think Liz Hurley was involved in any of this.
I think this is you wanting Liz Hurley not to be involved. but
Well, I don't.
know.
I mean, God bless her. She is a timeless classic, isn't she?
He's also got weirdly UPS, just in case he needs a delivery. Do you know what I mean?
So, yeah. So you rang a lot of these. You didn't get anything in particular out of it, but it just alludes to the fact of who might have been involved, isn't it?
Okay, so there's two grand conspiracies here. There is the child sex trafficking conspiracy, who was responsible for that criminal operation. Then there's also the conspiracy in the murder of Jeffrey Epstein. And some of those people from the first conspiracy are my lead suspects in the second conspiracy.
Naturally, because it's the people who've got the most to lose if it goes to court and it all unravels. Because as we're saying in other big cases, when you've got a gun to your head and you're facing life in prison, you sing like a fucking canary. And I would imagine that's the way it would have went. Because why take the fall for all of these people?
So Jeffrey Epstein, on his first sweetheart deal, like I said, he got the prostitution with the underage girls, and he was basically on work release for this year. Now, on his second arrest, how that came about was a journalist, very brave woman out of America, she was interviewing female prisoners. I think they were in the Florida prison system. And she found a commonality among a lot of them was they had been doing stuff for Epstein.
When you say doing stuff?
Sexual stuff for Epstein.
Stuff. Okay.
Yeah, massages. That was his code name for the sex acts. A lot of them had come from foster homes, care homes, abused.
So when we see massages in that phone book,
massages means sex.
Right, okay.
That's
So,
the code.
because I literally just thought you liked some massage. I didn't really get
Yeah.
that.
It's also kind of weird because you think you've got everything else in that book. Why put massage? Why make that the code?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I
That's
get
kind
it
of
now.
weird.
Epstein himself, according to the victims, liked to have 3 massages a day with underage girls. He had to ejaculate at least 3 times a day. And when one of the victims asked him why he needed to do that 3 times a day, he said it was just like eating food.
Right.
Wow.